We had conversations about how we had less Kenyans turn up, or even none of the Kenyans showing up in the MX1. A bit of not much of a competition in regards to your category. But when you look at that, that should be an advantage in regards to capping as many points as possible to wrap it up and maybe win the sixth title.
Yeah, no, for sure. With the big team we've filled, and the little riders Kenya has brought, it's going to give us a big advantage when we go to Nairobi next year. And that's exactly what we want. We want to go to Nairobi when we have a comfortable lead, so that even in case we don't take as big of a team as we wished, which I'm almost sure that we will do, but if we don't take a big team, then we still have a good lead to protect us. Yeah.
Maxime, before I let you go, obviously hit number 2 coming through. You won hit number 1 already. Behind you was Asaf, and of course Faduchi Gundu. What kind of game approach do you intend to put out there? Will it be aggressive or just go easy, get podium finish, and make sure you get the right points?
Yeah, I really want to not fall, but I'm gonna give the fans a good time. I see so many people here who have paid for this to come watch us, so I'm going to try to give them a good time, and that's what's most important.
Obviously, last year you were hampered by a number of injuries. You came back, it wasn't the best of comebacks, and then somehow you seem to have settled in this third round of the MX Championship. How important is it for you to actually get all 60 points in this third round?
Yeah, it's important for me. We never know what happens in this sport. So I need to try to maximize as many points as possible in every race I race, and so that if in case something happens, I still have accumulated as many points as possible.
All right, Maxime, finally, obviously for the fans and also for the followers of Maxime Van P, is this an event you get to, how do you usually say it? More like greetings, kind of. Is this an event that you can say it's one for me and one for the fans?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It is.
For Team Uganda, so far so good. Obviously with the Allen brothers, Team Kenya hasn't really done that well, but they stood out in the second in the MX2.
Yeah.
Your take on how they fared today, Team Uganda?
Team Uganda, I'm so pleased, and I think we're gonna take it overall for sure. We've won every class except the MX2, so I'm confident.
All right, thank you so much, Maxime. Yeah,
thank you.
Best of luck in the second heat.
Thank you very much.
And there you go. Of course, 65cc. The truck has been tasted. I think it's up and ready for usage in regards to the second heat. That was Maxime Van P, team captain of Team Uganda, and that was voices. Those were voices of the man himself, or the young man himself, in Maxime Van P, who won the first hit of the MX1 category, and hoping that Uganda will do what they did last year. Now we are about to get this 65cc second heat underway. That was just a feel of the racetrack from the 65 riders, and just to put things out there. We do have a couple of absentees. Ali Omar being one of them, Maxime Van P Olivier Van P being one of them, and also one Paddy Bleak and one Alisa Bleak as well, not present for this first leg of the FIM Central African Motocross Championship. We are live in Busika, from Busika at the Motorsport Arena, and we just lost visual right there, but we should be getting it in a few minutes from now. There you have it, 65cc about to unfold right before us. Alan Orland took out the first hit. Can he come out and take out the second hit? And that will put him in a very healthy position to win this round, this being the third round of the National Motocross Championship and also the first leg of the FIM Central African Motocross Championship. Jermaine, your thoughts on the 65cc? We're about to see some big boys call out some shots, especially for the Orland brother in Alan.
Final chance for Gift Sebuguzi to actually go down and stake his claim, as well as Isabella Bleak to probably improve her rating. She has finished 4th in both races, that is in both heats, so this is the time she actually needs to step it up and probably execute here to try and get a podium finish to pick up those points. As you did name a couple of races absent tonight, that is the likes of Paddy Bleak, who is away, that is on recovery, Alistair, who is waiting to make it to the next category, as well as Ali Omar Bobo, who we did catch up with yesterday and did go down to let us know that he hadn't been medically cleared to take part in this one, but will be coming back for the next race.
Definitely, we are about to come back, and we are going to, of course, get into the second heat of the 65cc, which has gotten underway, and Alan Orland should take the whole shot yet again. Alan, Yes, he does take the whole shot, as expected, as predicted, as anticipated in Alon Holland, who has taken out the whole shot, and of course, taking a slim lead ahead of Gift Sebuguzi, who should, of course, come out strong. This being his last chance, just like Jermaine said, for him to at least secure a win in one of the hits. He fell out in hit number 1. Can he come through in hit number 2 against a very speedy Alon Holland, who was, of course, attacking the whole shot? And of course, Isabella Blake, who finished in 3rd place, should have a say. A very interesting character in the house, that is in William Blake Jr., should come through and give us a say after doing well in hit 1 and hit 2. William Blake Jr., how are you, man?
Fine.
I like this swag. I like this swag. Come through, come through, come through, come through. What's up? You good?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah? Okay, I'd like to ask you a few questions. Can you take a seat? First and foremost, yeah, you won the first hit. You won the second hit. What do you make of that performance? Do you think now you're champion? Do you think you're champion now already, having won the first and second hit?
Yeah.
Yeah? Kindly hold the microphone right there. I'd like to pick your mind on Pascal Casozi and Miguel Katende. Do you think they are very good opponents when it comes to your racing?
Yeah.
What makes you say that?
Every time on the race, they're always near me. In the last lap, Miguel was so close to me, and he was about to overtake me. His only problem is over falling, and he's under pressure.
Do you think you contain your pressure quite well compared to them?
Yeah.
Yeah? Are you happy with the way Isabella Blake has been doing in the 65cc?
Yes.
Yeah? Last year, we had Gift Sebuguzi dominating. Do you think you're the next Gift Sebuguzi in that category?
Yes.
Yeah? What makes you say that? A faster bike?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think.
All right, finally, the third hit is coming through. What can we expect from William Blake Jr.? Nothing?
Yeah.
Really? All right, quickly, your remarks to all the young fans you have out there at school. Give them a happy Easter shout out as we look forward to your excellence in the third hit. Just a quick word. Just a quick word. Mama,
Happy-
Papa, your relatives, anybody.
My mom and
Yeah.
my baby sister.
Okay.
I wish you a happy Easter,
Okay.
and I love you.
All right. My pundit here wants to ask you a few questions before you run away. Yeah. Just a few minutes. Yeah. Jermaine, we have a youngster here. We're talking about him earlier on, William Blake Jr. Quite fascinating, very aggressive, very speedy, but a very tiny man who's got a very big heart.
Any threats as far as you're concerned on the bike? You seem pretty fearless when you're out there. Do you ever get scared? Any worries, or it's just about going for the win?
It's about going for the win.
Excellent stuff.
What do you call this style? It's just your
It's
style.
just your style.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. You're very well dressed, by the way. Team Red, Liverpool fan, Man United fan,
Chelsea.
Chelsea fan, and you're wearing red. My goodness.
My dad's shirt. He's the one who wanted the shirt.
Okay. Chelsea fan.
My dad is a really, 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 really big fan of Chelsea. He bought me a Chelsea bag, a Chelsea jersey, Chelsea phone, everything.
Okay, see you in the finals of the Europa League. That's if you make it, yeah?
Yeah.
That is William Blake Jr., one of the finest riders we have in the country, especially for the 50cc. He's got good character, very young man, bright future ahead of him. William Blake Jr. And I must say, his parents must be feeling proud about him from what he has achieved.
Totally managed to actually dominate all the 3 hits. Yesterday did win, and today hit 2 and hit 3, going down to finish them in style. Although we did also get the results from the junior results of the 50cc as well. In round 1, that was first hit. It was Babazi Ashraf Jr. who took the podium first place. Liam Tale and Jonathan Katende taking second and third, while Larry Isaiah Sekamwa finished in position number 4. If you look at hit 2, it was still Jonathan Katende in the lead, Liam Tale still taking second, but this time it was Mbabazi Ashraf Jr. who took third, and Larry, that is Isaiah Sekamwa, taking 4th place there. So basically that's how they did run through. We're waiting for the results from that is hit 3.
Of course, those are the Pee-wee results being read by. Oh, there is a fall right there. There is a fall right there, and the marshes are coming through. Bike number 4. That should be
Isabella Blake.
Isabella Blake, the darling Isabella Blake. She's struggling to get her bike started, and can she? Oh no! Yellow flag being waved. Yellow flag being waved. Ooh! Yellow flag being waved, and Isabella Blake, can she get back on the racetrack? Yes, she can. Vital seconds lost there by Isabella Blake. Unfortunately, there is moments when they do happen. Riders get frustrated, and it's even more frustrating when the bike just doesn't seem to start. A jump there, a temporary jump from Isabella Blake, and bringing up some bit of traffic. But anyway, the race is up and ready. It's up and going. We do have Alan Holland still leading. Gift Sebuguzi right there in second place. And Isabella Blake, who finished in third place, losing out on some vital seconds. Is she still in third position? We get to find out in a little while. But it's the race that we expected, especially knowing that we have faces like Alan Holland, Gift Sebuguzi, Isabella Blake, and I'm looking forward to Crede Subuga, who has not been that impressive, especially after doing well day one yesterday and failing to get the right numbers going into day two today, which is the main race. And of course, as you can see, the racetrack has been watered a bit just to reduce on the dust. That being a disadvantage for some riders who can, of course, endure through the dust. But yes, it is still the second heat of the 65cc category. The major highlight being Alan Holland taking out the whole shot again, and Isabella Blake dropping temporarily and losing some seconds behind Gift and Alan, who are still leading in first and second place respectively. Live from Busika, this being the first leg of the FIM Central African Motocross Championship, and of course it being the third round of the National Motocross Championship. Live in Busika, myself and Jermaine. So far, so good for the Holland brothers. They've called it, they've called for it, they've dominated, they've given the fans happy moments, and indeed they are deserved winners in their respective classes. And as we speak, Alan still leads Gift, who is still right behind him by a few seconds.
Does actually bring to mind a couple of the sporting families that have dominated some sports, the likes of the Williams in tennis and the likes of the Klitschkos in boxing in their heydays. You get a feeling stamping their authority and legacy here on the motocross. Still have a couple of challenges in there. Probably with time they could actually get out there and give them a run for their money. The likes of Gift Sebuguzi, the likes that is of Omar Walid, and that is the likes of Kilian Wekesa, who unfortunately seems to have his demons at Busika still plaguing him. But like you did point out earlier on, a track watered down, so that definitely means it's going to go back to the old age argument or debate there on whether it's easier to have the track that is without the watering, that is dry, or with a bit of watering, which gets it muddy. Isabella here, one of those who was actually fallen prey to that, got a bit rutted there when she tried to restart her bike, losing a couple of seconds there, but finally back on the track. Question is, can she actually catch up?
Can she actually catch up? And I think she just might be too late to catch up, because then Alan gets better with his speed. Gift Sebuguzi in no mood to give away anything to Isabella Blake. It does feel like Isabella Blake has got to put in twice as much going into this particular head, and she just needs to keep her patience. She has to maintain her speed, and even then try not to drop any more seconds, especially with that slippery edge on turn number 5. This being the second hit in the MX65, where we do have Alan Holland still leading. Right behind him, Gift Sebuguzi, and of course the darling in Isabella Blake, trying to, well, catch up with the two boys in Gift and Alan Holland, who are still leading this one here in the MX65cc. First and second position respectively. The fans are back to what they love doing best, and that is watching and catching a bit of the action down here. The marshals are doing their job, and I tell you what, it should be one exciting one, especially in the third hit, especially in the 65, the 85, and the 125. With the MX1, it should be one-sided, especially the Maxim Van P and Asaf Natan, who will be the obvious or the usual suspects to give us some sort of act action and entertainment. Looking forward to the riders in Fortune Centimo, the riders in Staff Holland, that's the 85cc, and the riders in William Blake, who should be back in the third and final heat in regards to the 50cc category. Myself, Nick, and Jermaine giving you the analysis and the commentary down here in Busika at the Motorsport Arena, live on Urban TV, and we are glad to be behind this production. We are glad to bring you the live broadcast. Better yet still, more action set to unfold in the third heats of all the respective classes, the 50cc, the 65, the 85, the 125, the MX1 and MX2, and the veterans.
Arguably, one particular racer seems to be escaping the notice of many of the people who are watching here. Seems to be my dark horse for this particular category there. A gentleman by the names of Credan Subuga did finish on the podium in the first heat, got position number 5 in the second heat, and at the moment is in position number 3. That is in the third and penultimate heat. So definitely one who is to watch out for. And he keeps managing to slip under the cracks, letting the pressure soak on the likes of Gift Sebuguzi, Alan Orlando, as well as the gentleman by the lady by the names of Isabella, that is Blake, but definitely managing to still get himself in those favorable positions and pick up a couple of points. But as it stands, he's in position number 3, that is Credan Subuga. Then we do have a gentleman by the names of Marcus Bukenya in position number 4, Daryl Mohindo in number 5, Lubega, that is Lubega Emmanuel in number 6, and Isabella Blake is in number 7 at the moment.
A quick correction, this is the third and final heat. I do beg to be corrected. Of course, yesterday being hit number 1, which was day 1, going into day 2 today, where we do have 2 and 3. In other words, that should leave William Blake Jr. as the champion from the MX 50cc, having won hit 1 yesterday, hit 2 today, and now hit 3 that just came to an end. And today it is, of course, this being the third hit. It should be Alan Orland's day in this 65cc, and all this while, well, forgive me for being a bit laid back, but all this while I just thought it was the second hit, and I've been corrected here. It is the third and final hit, and we could be having Alan Orland as the eventual winner, or else Gift Sebuguzi might just be too late to change that script. Isabella Blake fighting for podium. I think she's safe as of now, even if she finishes in 4th place. Her winning, her cubbing first and second, her cubbing podium finish yesterday. It was enough to actually see her secure a podium finish overall, this being the third and final hit. Credan Subuga, like Jermaine mentioned, has been the dark horse rider, and for sure he's done well for himself. For sure he should be trying to finish in 3rd place in this respective hit. Like I mentioned, the third hit of the 65cc category coming up after this one here will be the third and final hit in the 85cc category, having had day 1 of hit number 1 yesterday, day number 2 today, hit 2, and now hit 3 coming up right after this one here in the 65cc category. I do beg to be forgiven on that one there.
Well, definitely, as you did say, Alan Land should be heading towards that podium first place finish. The only way Gift Sebuguzi can actually dislodge him from overall winner is if he finishes in position number 4. That would allow Sebuguzi, and if Sebuguzi takes first spot and he finishes in position number 4, that would mean Sebuguzi wins with a margin of just 1 point there to take first place. Barring that, if he finishes in either position 2 or 3, any of the podium finishes should guarantee that is the top spot for Alan Orland. But knowing him and the competitive spirit that he does carry, one of the strains that runs through the family, you don't expect him to actually sit back. He wants a clean sweep of this category.
This should be a clean sweep, especially for the Orland brothers. They've come out scintillating, relentless efforts out there today. Even yesterday being day 1, where the first heats were covered from all their respective classes. There's a jam right there, bike number 44. That should be Shamira Katete. She has had quite a troublesome campaign this year. First the ankle injury, and then today having troubles going past that bend. It looks like it's not the best or rosiest of days or outings for Shamira Katete, who has actually failed to make the podium in the last 2 races. But I hope she can actually bounce back. I hope she can actually make ends meet, especially with the races that she has had over the last couple of months. But, well, back to the basics. Alan Orland, Gift Sebuguzi, and that is Craig and Subuga in first, second, and third place respectively. The darling lady in Isabella Blake fighting for her life in fourth place. Can she make it to position number 3? Time will tell. This is the final hit in the 65cc category, live in Busika, where the lap is now set to unveil itself. That is the final lap. This is the final lap. It is Alan Holland, Gift Sebuguzi, Creida and Subuga, and of course that is Isabella Blake in first, second, and third place respectively. There is a yellow flag being waved. That we could be having a situation, but there's a yellow flag being raised for a reason that I'm yet to find out in this last lap of this 65cc. It looks like Alan Holland is home and dry, having won the first hit yesterday, second hit earlier on this morning, and now the third hit this afternoon as he puts the cherry on top of the cake to wrap up this day and put a smile on his face as he comes out on top and has the final say against Gift Sebuguzi. A quick reminder, a debutant in Gift Sebuguzi who has done remarkably well, especially a man of his size on such a big bike, who has proven to be quite a challenger for Alan Holland and also for Isabella Blake, who was initially riding a manual bike and she's literally adapted well to it, and she has been quite the lady competing amongst the big boys in the 65cc. Job well done there for Alan Holland, who has had a very, very fine and convincing outing in this category, that is the 65cc category.
Just hasn't been her weekend, you have to say. Isabella Blake, do remember she's fighting for a lot more, and that is tonight, because she didn't take part in the MX1 category, that is in the MX1 that is race, the one that was held in Garuga, and only managed to pick up 32 points in the MX2. So definitely out there gunning for the points. She needs to really chase up if she's going to stake her claim among the big boys in this year's edition of the competition there. But you have to say, Daryl Mohindo, another one who consistently wants to pick up those points in the background there, slowly but steadily, also feeding off the pressure from the leaders of the race, as we see the checkered flag here being prepared to come in through. And yeah, it's a definite.
It's a definite. Alan Holland, champion of the 65cc round 3 of the National Motocross Championship, but also the first leg of the the Central Africa Motocross Championship. Job well done, thumbs up, big high fives or big high tens for the youngster in Alan Holland. Right behind him, Gift Sebuguzi in second place. Where to see who finishes in third place? Is it Isabella? Is it Creida in Subuga? And there you have it. Those are your winners. Yes, it is Creida and Subuga who has made it in third place. Unfortunately for Isabella Blake, there will not be any podium finish for her, as she must feel proud of what she has achieved today. Not just today, but also day one yesterday. And I must say, it's been a hard-working outing for the youngster in Isabella Blake, and also for the winner in Alan Holland, who has put the cherry on top of the cake, wrapping it up in style. A few seconds ahead of Gift Sebuguzi, the debutant, without a doubt, has done also well for himself, and that is of course that marks the end of the CC or the 65cc category, where Alan has claimed it. Right behind him is Gift Sebuguzi, Creida in third place, and of course Isabella Blake finishing outside the top 3 in Alan, Gift, and Creida. And that is again Shamira Katete for the second time. She gets to crumble. For the second time, she gets to falter in this race. She must feel hard done by the surface. That is a very muddy surface on that bend. Her bike, those tires have not had a proper grip on that surface, and she's been let down by the bike. She's been let down by the weather, I guess, and she must feel a very unhappy lady. But that won't matter, because at the end of the day, if she does finish the line and not register a DNF, she'll have something to go back home with, and that something is that she crossed the finish line. But for Alan, Gift, and Creida in first, second, and third place respectively. Coming up is the 85cc, the third and final hit, where we'll be having some big names in there coming through to give us something to be excited about, especially when you do have the Holland brother right there. Jeremiah, of course, Jeremiah Wonder expected to come out all hard. Jermaine, quick one, your thoughts on the 65cc third hit that just came to an end. Another fine outing from an Holland brother in Alan.
To say he actually won the race is an understatement. He outclassed, dominated, outmaneuvered, totally head over shoulders above all his opponents, and you have to say very, very worthy win. True champion in this category. But I still want to send a proper shout out to the ladies in this particular category. That is Isabella as well as that is Katete there. The resilience they've had in this particular race, at no point have they actually decided to just give it up, especially Katete. As you did say, being hampered by her bike, being hampered by the weather, had a few of those injuries there, but she still is resiliently in every race, does not quit, and definitely has the heart of a champion here. You probably have a feeling it's just a question of time before she actually becomes one of those formidable ones to actually watch out for.
Well, of course, there is Shamira Katete, bike number 444. She just crossed Shamira Katete just crossed the finish line. We also have Shadia Katete. She will be in the next race coming through. Still the same bike number 444. And speaking about champions in the making, Staff Allen should be the one to the attention will be on Staff Allen. Holland, rather, I beg your pardon. And Omar Walid also expected to come out and make a statement in this third and final heat. We're about to get it underway. The engines are up and ready. It's all ready for hit number 3. In this 85cc, who does get to take the whole shot? Will it be Stav or Omar? It is Stav, definitely. Wow! Stav starts off like he did in hit number 2. A huge jump and a huge start. This should be Stav's race unless Omar or Muhindo disagree. And oh, there is an accident at the moment. That is Shadia Katete, again, sister to Shamira. This is a jinx coming through for this Katete family. What's going on, man?
You could actually believe it was probably the fact that she did not case her jump very well. She actually cased her jump, unfortunately, landing on the backside, and she could not maintain the suspension of the bike. So as a result, went to the ground.
Another fall right there. Another fall right there. That bend is proving to be quite notorious for the riders.
It is what happens normally when you get to the third heat in many of the races. The ruts do come into play, and as you notice, many of the races getting stuck in the mud or rutted, as you have seen. It's affecting several of the races. Now it's going to get down to the intricacy of how many times have you gone around the bends, how many times have you mastered how your bike behaves around these bends.
You've got
so
to
how do you adapt to it? You've had 3 hits, and that's the reason why you keep going over and over again, and that is in these particular hits. It's not just a question of picking up points, but it's a lot more than just that, and looks like Shadia Katete could be a bit hurt here. Seems to be in a bit of pain as the marshals are attending to her there.
Well,
but the race does carry on, and from off the screen we actually do see a stretcher being brought in. Stretcher being brought on.
Well, I tell you what, drama and drama. It is the 85cc third hit where we've had a whole shot taken by Stav Holland, where we've also had, of course, some a fall from Shadia Katete, bike number 444. The crowd is getting rowdy. The fans are on their feet for obvious reasons. Stav Holland is actually taking the race to Omar Walid, who comes out after lap number 1. Who doesn't get to come out? It's not even Stav. It is Omar Walid that actually takes the lead. My goodness, it gets better. It gets better because then Walid Omar, once again, this for the second time in this second day, he is leading. Stav Holland is 2 places behind. My goodness, this is very rare and very unusual for Stav Holland, who took the whole shot, somehow lapsing and somehow giving in, and now he's in panic mode. Will he take the race, or will Omar Walid come out on top? Good stuff.
We did actually see his resilience in day 1, whereby that was in hit 1, where he actually did go down, have a small accident, and had to settle for about 7 places behind, eventually dropping to 9, but had to chase the race all the way, piling pressure on Kilian Wekesa, who actually led the race for quite a while, eventually claiming the first spot and still managing to finish with some time between them. And there you go, executing a beautiful whip.
I told you so. This was going to be electric, and it's exactly what's happening down here. Omar Walid has overtaken the champ in Stav Holland, who's doing everything he can to close that gap and get back to where he belongs. Up this point in time, it's not the case. Stav Holland playing chase. It does look like he's actually overtaken. My goodness. Habib Chigundu, Milton Akaki, nowhere in the picture. The Kenyans, nowhere in the picture. The lady in Shadia Katete looks like it's going to DNF. Goodness me, what a race we have before us. Walid Omar still leading this race. Extraordinary scenes down here in Busika, and the fans are getting what they came for.
Actually, one of the Kenyans who is in this race, Alex Kandi, is among the podium places right now. He's in position number 3. That is on bike 737 there. He seems to be doing a good job of trying to pile the pressure on Omar Walid. But as you earlier on did point out there, Nick, that fifth bend where they seem to be having a lot of problems, we've just noticed yet again that seems to be the place where the Olands know exactly how to work it. They know how to get in on the outside, pin the bend, and then go out full throttle. That's where they seem to gain the pace. If anyone is going to beat them, they have to master the same technique.
Well, something is going to be mastered, because then Staff Holland still a few seconds behind Walid Omar coming into lap number 3. There you have it. Walid Omar bravely taking another jump. He is in the lead at the moment. Another fine jump there from Walid. Confident on that bike. He's definitely owning it at this point in time, with Staff playing chase. The question is, can Walid Omar last it in this race? My goodness, I didn't see this coming. No one saw this coming, but it is definitely coming, because then Walid Omar is leading this one here going into the 4th lap, with Staff Holland aggressively riding behind Walid Omar, who has come out with a brave approach, and that brave approach could actually see him win the first race in this 3rd hit of the 85cc. My word, and this is what the race is all about. This is what motocross is all about. Competition, entertainment, the jumps, getting it right, and there is another casualty on that bend. Just like that.
Intricate stuff, and here we see on our screen, looks like Staff has actually taken over the first spot, and Omar Walid has actually dropped to 2nd. This boy is something else. He is not human at his racing style. This is so surreal from him. Absolutely fearless. I just looked at the jump he made at that is the lap point, and it was crazy. You do not do these things at this age.
Well, the seconds will matter. You slip up, you get paid. You get punished for it. And of course, for Walid Omar, he slipped up a bit, paving way for Staff Holland right there in your picture, who has now taken, who has overtaken Walid Omar, who now has to regain what he started in the first place. This is what motocross is all about. And of course, for the fans trying to root for both riders. And in your picture right there, that's of course the Kenyan rider in Alex Kadi in 3rd place, with Shadia Katete registering a DNF already out of the race prematurely. She has to now wait for round 4, which should be in a couple of months from now. But as of now, Staff Holland has regained his first position. Walid Omar just couldn't contain it. Was that pressure for Walid Omar? Well, only him can answer.
I probably would think it's the thing that we have talked about consistently, the corners, especially where there's a lot of ratting. Everybody else slows down. They lose a couple of precious seconds, and then when they get into the straight lane, they do not have enough throttle. Now, for the Hollands, it's the reverse. They get in with just enough impetus. As they're getting out of it, they're already hitting the throttle hard, and they seem to be gaining at least 4 or 5 seconds from those bends, something that we seem to see coming to count for them.
Well, Walid Omar is slightly falling off the radar. He's got to maintain his speed. He's got to maintain his speed and find that right moment where he can actually nick in and try to make Staff Holland pay. But at the moment, a very huge jump there from from Omar Walid, and quite the race it is down here, with Staff Holland still temporarily leading this one here, but hopefully for him it will be the final say, and hopefully for Walid it might not be the case, because then if it is the case, then Staff Holland is the champion in the 85cc category, having won it in the first hit yesterday, going into the second hit today, and of course being the 3rd and final hit. Walid Omar trying to change that script, trying his very best to actually see out the champion in Staff Holland, and the fans being given something to cheer about. As it is, Staff Holland first, Omar Walid second, and of course it is Habib Chigundu in 3rd place. 85cc third hit down here in Busika, live on Aben TV. Happy Easter holidays to all of you guys who just joined us, and if you just did, a little too late for it because all the action just came through. First hit yesterday, second hit today in the 50cc, the 65-85, which is about to come to an end.
I would definitely have to spare a thought for those who are having their Easter lunch right now. It could be a bit difficult to have a proper meal while watching this much intricacy in the racing as the positions are changing. But right now, one thing you do have to notice, Nick, is the fact that it goes down to strategy now for Omar Walid. You have to bid your time, you have to seek your patience, see where exactly your niche is. Is it going to be the fact that the showman in Stav Olan could easily slip up and you have to be close by to pick up your point? Are you going to chase him on the straight lanes? Does your bike match him for pace? Or can you actually use his technique against him and try to chase him down in the ruts? It's all down to strategy now, though you get the feeling time is not going to be an element that's on the side of Omar Walid.
Definitely time is not on Omar's side because then, just like you mentioned, Jermaine, his bike cannot match Stav's bike because we all know Stav's bike is a bit faster. Stav is a bit more exposed, more experienced compared to Walid because then this boy is always venture in, European motocross events in the US, South Africa, and I guess some of those factors tend to play a huge advantage, especially in such races. But as you can see right there, Stav still leading, and now for Walid Omar, the question will be: can he fall through? Can he squeeze in a little bit of more time to actually try and close the gap between him and Stav Olan? Stav Olan coming through in the last final lap, and it does look like he's just not gonna go there. Just not going to get there. Another huge jump from Omar Walid. Just not good enough to actually see him close the gap between him and Stav Olan. The thing about this race between Walid and Stav, every time Walid makes a huge jump, Stav makes twice of a huge jump. So even when you think that Walid is catching up with Stav, it's not the case. It's not the case.
I think that actually the difference between the two is the fact that Stav's jumps are more towards the showmanship, while Walid is using those jumps to try and compensate for those other spots where he has to slow down a bit. So tries to use those jumps to get into these particular positions. It's good strategy. They've actually worked it right. And I was just looking at the bikes there, both of them riding Husqvarnas there. So basically now it's down to the strategy and the experience, in which you must say there's also the daredevil element, where I would hate to say, but I think the gentleman known as Stav Olan seems to have more of the devil in his blood in this race.
Definitely. It is about the daredevil, and of course for Stav Olan, he's got that in him. He's got that in him. And Omar Walid trying to phase in on Stav Olan, who looks like he will be home and dry after what he did in hit number 2 and hit number 1 yesterday. Could this be the Olan moment? Could this be the day when we get to celebrate a 3 straight Olan victory in the 65, in the 85, and in the 125? Goodness me, what an action we've had today. And for the fans, I do believe they've been entertained, satisfied, and they can go and have a happy holiday Easter, because then what other way of celebrating sport when you have such entertaining sceneries, especially the one we're having in Busika at the Motorsport Arena. Live on Aben TV, it always starts here, and we are about to, of course, have the 125 set to unveil, set to come through, where the champion will be found out. This here is the third and final hit of the 85cc, where Stav is being taken on by Omar Walid, and of course for Chigundo and Muhindo.
And there,
right there. Oh,
right
can
there.
he come through? Yes,
That
he can. Oh no, he can't. Yes, he just did. Walid Omar just nicked it at the right time. Just like you mentioned, Jermaine, it's all about finding the right moment, capitalize on it, match his speed, and take it on. And that's exactly what Walid Omar just did, giving the fans something, and Stav is not about to give up.
Actually, a pro that is going down to become a victim of the whiskey throttle there. Could not control his bike, and as a result, like I did let you know, he would be waiting to capitalize. Now he needs to make those jumps work. Can he stem the pressure? Can he maintain the momentum? Olan seems to be all out to regain his sport. The question is, he needs to keep it calm and stay on the run.
He's got to keep it calm, and no, he misses out. Taking out the Ina, and no, again, the Ina works for Walid, and the outer doesn't work for Stav. It's still Stav up against Walid Omar. What a race we have on our hands. It's in the final up. Is it Walid? Is it Stav Olan? My word, this has been quite the electric race we expected, and those two still going neck to neck. Walid Omar against Stav Holland. This very day will be remembered for what these two have given us in regards to competition. Another fine huge jump there from Walid Omar against Stav Holland, who's still trying to regain fast position. Who will cross the finish line on top? Who will claim it in this 85cc? That question will be answered in a few moments from now, because Walid's still maintaining fast position. Right behind him is Stav Holland, not about to give in. It's about the inner, it's about the outer. Who gets it right? Walid just did. Can he make it through? He just did with another jump going into the final lap. My word, that's the bend right there, and that is where it all matters, because when you get your bend right, you're bound to come through on top. And for Walid, he is in that moment where he feels like he's under pressure. Can he contain it? Can he contain it? My goodness, what a race we have, Jermaine.
If you actually had to go down and talk to Walid at this time, you tell him close out everything. It's just you and the bike. There's nobody chasing you. There's nothing going on. It's simply you and the bike and the truck. Keep it going, keep it running. You're on a straight course here. Finish the job. And so far, so good from him. He's containing the pressure, though I must say, hot on his heels, not being given any breathing space. Stav.
No breathing space right here. Hot on his heels, just like Jermaine just said, because then Walid Omar has got to find the strength from inside out, try and maintain that, because then it is about to come to an end. But what a Navi ending, and it's another bend in there. Can he make it? Oh yes, he does make it, and Stav still behind him. Pressure, pressure, pressure for Walid Omar. He's got to find ways of containing his panic, because anything slight can actually lead to Stav nicking through, and Stav going for a bend, for an inner, while Walid went for an outer. It's still Walid on top, and Stav right behind him. It is all the way till the final lap, because then it's about to go down. It's about to go down. One more lap to go. One more lap to go, and one more huge jump from Walid Omar, who is trying to contain himself. Can he contain it in this final lap between himself and Stav Holland? What an outing, what a race between these two riders in Walid Omar and Stav Holland, who has dominated the last two hits. But this one here will not be easy, because then it's man to man, neck to neck. Walid Omar, no way, he just did it. He just did it, my goodness. I get to have a laugh of this, because this has been quite extraordinary scenes between Walid Omar and Stav Holland. My. You can afford to take your eyes off this race.
You definitely have to applaud Stav, and that is Walid at the moment, as Stav has still taken the lead yet again, but you have to applaud Stav for being resilient and chasing down. I must say, Walid here putting up a masterclass in strategy, forcing that is Stav to race against his own tactics. Many times we've actually seen him hit the outside, forcing that is Stav to go on the inside, where he hates to cut the corners in, and that actually made him lose out on those positions. But at the moment, Stav still gets back his first place.
Well, again, Walid Omar giving away what could have been a historical win against a bitter rival in Stav Holland, who somehow remarkably overtook Walid Omar. And as expected, these two were bound to give us something to discuss about. That's exactly what they've done. And unfortunately for Walid Omar, he has lost out his fast position. He just didn't get it right. He couldn't get his panic mode together. And for Stav Holland, with the experience that we talked about earlier on, he found the right spot and took advantage of it. And he's on his way to wrap up what was a very, very competitive outing, a very, very challenging afternoon for Stav Holland. It hasn't been a walk in the park for him. It hasn't been quite easy on the eye. It has been a very, very competitive race, and thanks to Walid Omar, who has given him something to think about going into the fourth round of the MX Championship. But without a doubt, Walid Omar deserves a big, big loud of applause and a big thumbs up.
This race alone, let alone the category, does justify the entry fee to actually come in and watch this one. It's been one that has been nail-biting, and focusing on position number 1 and number 2 would actually make you forget that there's a podium place to also battle for in number 3. I'll be hard done to actually let you know who is in position number 3. But at the moment, it looks like it's going to be the gentleman known as Stav settling for position
Stav Holland.
1.
Stav Holland has won it for the third time in his third round MX Championship. And a huge jump, massive, massive, massive outing between those two riders. And they must say congratulations to Walid Omar, congratulations to Stav Holland, finishing in first and second place. What a race we had before us. What an outing. Brilliant, brilliant stuff between those two riders, and I must admit that the numbers have spoken them for themselves. Just a little seconds separating the two riders in Walid and Stav Holland. Now who finishes in third place? That we're going to find out in a little while. But for Stav Holland, he has gone on to win the 85cc category in this third round MX Championship and also the first leg of the FIM Central Africa Motocross Championship. Jermaine, your thoughts on these two riders? What an outing for me. Breathtaking. Simply out of this world.
The finishing says it all. That is Stav Holland finishing with a downs. That is Willie up there having his legs come out there to finish off a trick. And similarly a big jump there coming in from Omar Walid. Going on to talk about the showmanship between these two. Even when they went neck to neck, none of them decided to forget the part that they were entertainers. They still gave the fans a thrilling run. They made the whips when they made the jumps. They gave them the speed whenever they needed to. Strategy was employed. An entertaining race all through. And I must say, a very bright future for Team Uganda at this stage here. And the gentleman in the names of Alex Kandi comes in position number 3 there to seal off the podium finish. Has also been one of those who has consistently performed in that category there. We also see Junior Ashi coming in position number 4 there. So altogether a very magnificent race, and it sets the tone for an equally more that is engaging race that's coming up. The track has gotten a bit more rutting, so it's going to be a lot more challenging. I think we're in for a very, very interesting next race.
Definitely, and that next race should be the 125cc category, where we do have, of course, some interesting faces in there as well, going through that particular race in regards to the 125. Aviv Holland won it in the first second hit. Fortune Santemu, Wazir Omar, Sam Foreman, Joshua Mwangala, Sharifa Katete, and of course, the one Sambo that is in Swansea. Yes. It's been the race, it's been the sporting motocross, it's been the crowd, it's been us in the commentary box, it's been the weather, by the way. And as I get to say this, happy Easter holidays from myself and of course the rest of the crew as you continue to enjoy this action, this thrilling electric action from Busika. One you can afford to take your eye off in regards to what's happening down at the Motorsport Arena. Proudly brought to you by Aben TV and Vision Group, and of course we definitely getting you the live updates. And speaking about sports elsewhere, of course, we have some Premier League football coming through later on tonight. Arsenal up against Crystal Palace, and of course Monday Night Football, Chelsea up against the Clares in Burnley. Yesterday, the citizens in Man City got their vengeance back, beating up on Tottenham Hotspurs. Phil Foden scoring the only goal that made the difference on match day. But quickly, getting back into the action right here in Busika, where we do have next up 125cc third and final hit. Will it be Aviv Holland? Will it be Fortune Santemu or Wazir Omar to take it? But, well, the obvious should be put out there.
Interestingly, in a category that has this much horsepower, you would expect that you would have a couple of the races, maybe due to the speed, unable to finish off the race. But in all the heats, they've actually managed to finish off their races. So for the final time, they take to the track.
There you have it, 125 on the road. Who takes the whole shot? Who takes the whole shot? Who takes the whole shot? No. Who just did take the whole shot?
It looked like Wazir Omar. That was bike number 20, Akos Kavana. Seemed to have taken the whole shot there. He was pretty much in the lead. But the question is, did he actually capitalize on the whole shot to actually take maintain the lead?
Well, that is 100,000 Uganda shillings for Wazir Omar for taking the whole shot. This one here has just gotten underway. What kind of race can we expect between Aviv and Fortune Santemu and Wazir Omar, along with Walombe, Sam Foreman, and of course Swansea Sambo from Team Kenya. What a race we had earlier on. Of course, are we expecting a much bigger race in this current race, that is the 125 combined with the MX2, if I'm not mistaken. Is it combined, Jermaine? All right, it's combined. All right, wow. I must catch my breath because it's been quite thrilling in regards to what's happening down here in Busika. And we do have the confirmed results from the previous race. Stav Holland, Walid Omar, and of course one Alex Kandi from Team Kenya, to coming out to take third position in this podium. from the previous race. That was the 85cc category, which came to an end. Right before us is the 125 combined with the MX2. We do have the Kenyan right there, Rolf Kihara, the team captain rather, who won the previous heat, which was heat number 2. And of course, Ismail Muchibi as well, Alex Moy, Michael Intayero, and Shafiq Seki as well in this one here. That's the MX2 combined with the MX125. We do have Aviv All and Fortune Centrum, Wazir Omal, Taye Wahomed, it's the Kenyan, Sam Foreman, Joshua Mwangala, and Sharifa Katate, and Swansui Swambo. Back to the race now. It is, of course, the 125, where it is the Allen brother in Aviv Allen still leading it. Fortune Centrum right behind him. And another fine jump there from the Allen brother in Aviv Allen, trying to, of course, see out this race like it did in the first hit and in the second hit. Like I mentioned earlier on, a few absentees in this one here because Ali Omar Babor missing out on this particular event. We also have the Blicks in Paddy and Alistair Blake out of this particular race. They're still nursing their injuries. And one Olivier Van P still, of course, nursing his injury as well. But that won't matter that much because then Team Uganda comfortably leading Team Kenya in this first leg of the FIM Central Africa Motocross Championship live in Bosika, live on Urban TV, where it all starts.
Still a bit of a difficulty here negotiating that particular corner as they continue to try to take this one on. Quite a bit of a big jump here, but you do get the feeling that given the state of the current racetrack, many of the racers at the moment are being very cautious, especially with their jumps, not really hitting it full throttle. Still trying to get a bit of the lay of the land in these first 2 laps there before we probably will let them, we'll see them actually let it fly later on there as the race does progress here. Final heat it is, that is heat 3, and the chance for points here as we come to a close of this edition of the motocross.
A win for Rolf from Kenya, the team captain. Will actually see him march as champion. And mentioning the MX2, we don't have Paddy Blake in there. He's an absentee. He would have fancied to actually go out against Rolf Kihara, all the way from country known as Kenya. Alex Moy in there as well. Ismail Muchibi has actually had a very polite campaign as well in the first and second hit. Can he have the final say in the third hit? That we get to find out in this third and final hit in the MX2 combined with the 125, where Aviv Allen still leads as well, followed by Fortune Santamo and Wazir Omal as well, coming out in the previous hit, giving us something to smile about because then his numbers spoke for himself. He came out with a time of 6:49.46, covering 8 laps. A very, very fine outing from Wazir Omar. Now quickly, back to the race. It is Aviv still leading in this particular 125 combined with the MX2. Where you do have Rolf Kihara still leading as well in that respective order in the MX2 category down here in Busika as far as the first leg in the FIM Africa Central Motocross Championship gets to go. That is what motocross is all about. That is what this is all about in regards to the event. But another fine moment right there for Aviv Holland trying to make his presence felt. It was a statement. There is a sense of ownership right there from Fortune Santamo, who's got to make his he's got to make the right decision, especially when it comes to that bend, that 5th bend that's given most riders quite a difficult time in this particular event down here in Busika. The fans have been satisfied, I must say. It has been quite the event, I must admit and confess. The fact that the 85cc gave us the most significant and most competitive outing in this particular one. An overtake right there, an overlap actually there from Aviv Holland, who has actually made it a habit of actually getting the right result every time he comes out on the racetrack. Still on the first leg of the FIM Central African Motocross Championship, where we do have over 60+ riders representing Team Uganda against Team Kenya, who have only managed to come out with just 11 riders. And I must mention results elsewhere that came through earlier on the previous race. Staff came out on top. Omar Walid in second place, and of course the Kenyan in Alex Kandi in third place. And of course elsewhere we did have the 50cc William Blick Jr. took it, and he, of course, won all the 3 hits. The first yesterday, the second this morning, and the third this afternoon. Pascal Casozi in second place, followed by the birthday boy in Miguel Katende in third place. Mubiru Ramadan disappointingly finishing in fourth place. Jonathan Katende in fifth place. Ethan Sydney in sixth place. Zan Wekesa with bike troubles finishing in seventh place. And Latisha rock bottom. Back to the race itself. Looks like Aviv Holland is making headlines for the right reasons, and he's still very much in the lead of this particular race between him and Fortune. In that very race, we have the MX2 rider in Rolf Kihara. Another fine jump there from that is in Aviv Holland, followed by Fortune Sentamu, exciting the fans with those very, very huge and fine jumps as far as the race gets to go. Back to what we began, and that is, of course, the riders competing in this very heat. We do have Alex Moy, Ismail Muchibi, Rolf Kihara, Michael Njairo, and Shafiq Seki in there, all from Kenya, who have been second best throughout the entire event, especially for the 65 and the 85.
Really gearing up to actually become a very intricate race. We did talk about the fact that they would need a bit of time to study the conditions currently of the track, and you can see Aviv Holland and Fortune Sentamu are definitely getting their game plan on there, trying to do a bit of a triple there. Aviv Holland just not matching it pretty well, and now Fortune Sentamu trying to cut him out there on that very, very intricate fifth corner. They're still matching each other neck for neck. They seem to have a bit of a personal battle going on between these two, because it looks like Fortune Sentamu, for every jump Aviv Holland makes, tries to go a step higher, a distance longer, and a little more intricate with the tricks. Quite entertaining for the fans.
Quite entertaining for the fans, quite entertaining for us in the commentary box, and for everyone who made their way down here in Busika. And I must say, for every class there's got to be some sort of rivalry or some sort of competition, because we had the youngsters in William Blake versus Pascal Casozi, Miguel Katende. The 65 we had Alan Holland versus Gift Sebuguzi versus Isabella Blake and Baraka Senoga. In the MX2, it's been the foreigner in Rolf Kihara and Ismail Muchibi, and of course the 85 that just came to an end was Staff Holland against Omar Walid. This one here seems to be between Aviv and Fortune Sentamu, and there has been a sort of a lead.
Swapping positions.
Has actually lost his position against Rolf Kihara. Rolf Kihara has come out all guns blazing, and it looks like he's trying to make a statement of his own. Ooh, goodness me. He has arrived. Rolf Kihara has arrived and now has dismantled Stav Holland. Aviv Holland, rather.
Center move there. That was taking the lead. Bike number 55. Rolf Kihara is on bike number 20. That is on the MX there, and still making keep. Bike 21. He's in that position. But Fortune Center move fearless there. We did see him totter a bit there with a bit of a whiskey throttle. But it is neck to neck, and my goodness, they are serving up a race here for us, Nick.
Well, I tell you what, Fortune has again lost his lead, because then Aviv has come out again with another fine jump. It was a temporal lead from Fortune Sentamu, who is now back in second place. He's got to make ownership on this territory. He's got to have his presence felt on his territory. Another slight jump there from Aviv Holland, who's trying to put this one here out in the faces of the crowd, especially the way he actually goes about his business. Jumps, bends. The right decisions have got to be made, and if the right decisions are made, then you're bound to get a win, especially now when you are in the final heat, because then for Fortune Sentamu, he has played second best in the first and second heat. He's got to come out and at least try and win one race with Aviv Holland standing in his way of that situation. But that said, we do have the results from the previous race. Of course, Stav Holland claiming it overall, followed by Walid Omar, and of course one Alex Kande in third place. Live from Busika. I tell you what, if you just joined us, you missed out on a whole lot of action, because then this being the third heat of the 125 combined with the MX2, you might as well just cut a bit of the lead action that is about to come your way. Coming up after this race, veterans combined with MX1, where Maxime Van P is comfortably leading with 40 points for today.
Interesting strategy now coming in from that is Olan Aviv. Seems to be taking a few pointers from his brothers earlier on. Instead of using the outside like they have been using, it's pretty rotted out there. So he seems to be making most of his turns on the inside and try to gain a lot of space, only going for the outside on the wide butts here, and still quite comfortably in the lead as he clears another jump there, pulling a double and definitely going for a long whip out there. Ooh, nice one. Intricate one. That is the left leg wheelie coming in from that is Aviv Olan. Fortune center move close behind there, not to be outdone. And position number 3 will go to the person in the lead. That is for the MX2, the captain of the Kenya team, Rolf Kiara, who seemed pretty calm here when he was talking to us a few minutes ago, just before going in for this particular hit. But definitely is another mentality altogether when out on the racetrack. In position number 3 and still in the lead, outgunning for another 20 points in the MX2 category.
Definitely the 125 and the MX2 combined together. It's been quite entertaining so far. Of course, the competition being between that is Aviv Olan and Fortune Sentamu. Those two have been the say in this particular one. As far as the 125 thought he gets to go. Aviv still in the comfortable lead going into the should say the 6th lap of this race. That is the 125. Of course, where we have the absentia of Alistair Blake as well, still out announcing his injury in regards to the 125 class. And you could see right there Fortune Sentamu in a checkered jersey, trying to close in on Aviv Olan. Looks like Aviv has actually set the pace and set the tone like he did in the first and second hits, going into the start and final hit of the 125. Live in Busika. You can always drop in your remarks or your comments on our Facebook page, social media platform, Twitter. The handle is GameOnX, and UG MX Championship live via the Motorsport Arena in Busika. A redesigned truck that has been quite, well, the truck for a number of new faces, of course, for some juncture. He said he had a bit of difficulty. More fitness levels are required to actually endure yourself throughout this entire truck. It is a redesigned truck, a expanded truck, if I should say, an extra 2 kilometers added onto it, and that requires so much, especially when it comes to those very, very tight bends. You've got to perfect your bends on that bike, and that's something that the Olan brothers have done, and that is, I think, what has been their winning factor in this race. One more lap to go to mark the end of the 125 combined with the MX2. Aviv Olan comfortably leading this race, and looks like he's just a few seconds ahead of Fortune Sentamu, who's now in the picture right there, coming through. Right there is Fortune Sentamu, has been giving the mark that it is just 1 lap to go. Can he miraculously come out and overtake Aviv Olan? I personally don't see that happening, but if it does happen, it will be one to scream about.
Definitely want to scream about there, though you could say Swansea Sambo having something else screaming out. His bike pretty much clapped out here. You could hear the sounds from the exhaust pipe there, showing that it's not in a very, very ideal conditioning there. But nonetheless, still trying to make sure he gets to the very end of this particular race there. Meanwhile, interestingly, gentlemen by the names of Sam Foreman is really, really far off the pace. If you look at the first two, that is in the 125 category, in Aviv Olan and Fortune Sentamu, they are followed by someone from the MX2 category. But after that, the distance is more than 2 minutes between them and the person coming in position number 3. That is Taiwa Home, who is in position number 3. Quite a bit of a distance, daylight to be honest, that is between these ones as we come to the far. Whoa, there you go, the cartoon stop there, showman going for the cartoon stunt there. My goodness, intricate stuff from Aviv Olan.
Okay, he just did that while he's in the lead. He just did that with Fortune Sentamu a couple of miles away from him. He just did that just to show how confident and how good he is, especially on that bike, especially on this truck. They own this territory, I must say, in the Olan brothers, and it's their own playground. They've come out time and time again to prove to many that this is what they were born for, this is what they're made of, and this is what they love doing best, and that is racing, and it's not just racing, but competing, and not just competing, but winning. Aviv Holland,
There you go, pulling
man
off
of the
another
moment.
10 o'clock wheelie. And he seems to be enjoying himself. I think this is the part where the word arrogant takes on a more positive meaning, because that is definitely what he's doing. He's bossing the track, pulling the stunts, entertaining the crowd, and still winning in a emphatic fashion.
Well, I must feel sorry for Fortune Center Mall, seeing those stunts being pulled off by your competitor and knowing that he's actually way in the lead, riding or racing on one tire, and you just literally trying to scream yourself or scream your way into his face. Aviv Holland has won the 85, the 125, and there you have it. Another moment right there on one tire and on the back tire. Yes, yes, yes. Champion in Aviv Holland, who has won this 125 hit, third and final hit. Fortune Santamo in second place, and of course he does get to claim it as well in that order. What a race for Aviv, giving the fans something to cheer about with those stunts he pulled off even before he was confirmed that he would win the race. But he's been the boy who has owned it along with his brothers in Allen and Stav, and what an outing for the Holland brothers. We saw this coming. It has been quite the obvious, and now we expect more thrilling action to come out from Maxime Van P in the next race, which should be the third and final heat in the MX1. But quick results before Jermaine gets in. Alan Holland killing it in the 65, followed by Gift Crate and Superguy in third place, and of course in the 85, Stav Holland came out on top, Omar Walid in second place, and Alex Kandi in third place. Jermaine, take it away.
Well, we're into the final one here. That is going to be the last race for the night. MX1 and the veterans are ready to take this one on. These are the loudest bikes because they do have the biggest engines here. And Maxime Van P, as he did promise, he said this one will be for the fans, is out to run riot. Question will be, will the rest of the competitors in this particular segment let him go? We did see quite a bit of a scare earlier on in that is Hit 2 coming in from Asaf Natan, putting him quite under immense pressure. Though we also do have an intricate battle building up there between Fatu Chigundu and Joe Juncture, both of them trying to figure out how to race this one. It will be the final one, and Uganda will be outgunning for all the points since there's no Kenyan in this category as well. And we did see Barack Olan, that was